I figured out what the story of chapter 4 is going to be about, and it's going to blow your mind. Maybe not blow your mind, but I think a lot of people are not expecting what I'm about to tell them. So I was working on a video about the Ageless the other day, and by now many of you would probably be familiar with that there is a connection between the Ageless and Geno. After all, they pretty much look almost identical. The only difference is that one is older than the other. But before I continue any further, I think it's important that I explain how we got here. It all begins with the Fracture event. I know a lot of you didn't like the Fracture event, but just hear me out, because there are some major components in this event that is very important to what I'm about to tell you. During the Fracture event, the Herald destroyed the island, leaving the zero point completely exposed. We are then tasked by Amy to collect the zero point fragments so Paradigm can reforge the island with zero fusion. While this is happening, Paradigm is in another reality. This is the reality Paradigm traveled to in the opening of chapter 3 season 4, and the reality is called 659. This is important because this reality later ends up on the chapter 4 map. Nearing the end of the event, the zero point starts to send out these, what do you call them? The zero point sends some sort of energy out that grabs things. It's Fortnite, I don't know what to tell you. But during this, you'll see that the zero point sends out 3 of these tentacles, energy things, whatever you want to call them, right? And one of them leads to Paradigm. But this is where it gets crazy, because if you take a look at the map, you'll see that there are 3 zones in the map. There's one that's extremely green, one that's some type of autumn colored, and another one that is winter colored. The reason they are all different is because they are all from 3 different realities. And these 3 different realities was actually tweeted by Donald Mustard himself.
Now, okay, pause there. So, of course, my dumbass managed to mess it up. What actually ended up happening was that Donald didn't directly tweet them, he showed it through his location. But anyways,
the 3 realities is reality 659, obviously is the reality Paradigm sent in. The other realities are reality 153 and 602. It's unclear at this point which one belongs to which zones, but from a wild guess, I would assume that reality 602 is reality the Ageless is from, and reality 153 is where the weird zero point thing comes from. But reality 659 and reality 602 is at war with each other. On Fortnite's official webpage, they have a post that was posted when chapter 4 first released, and in this post it says our domain but also our enemy's domain. In chapter 2 it was Alter versus Ego, which later then evolved into Ghost versus Shadow. Now as we progress, this will later in chapter 3 become the 7 versus the Imagined Order, and we are working with the 7 to destroy the Imagined Order. The weird thing is that after chapter 1, it's always been about the Order and the Resistance. And I think it's also important to note that this war against Order versus Rebellions has always kind of existed. It existed probably before chapter 1 as well. After all, Dr. Sloan seemed to recognize the Foundation when he took off his mask. So the Imagined Order and the 7 have probably been going at each other since a very early stage, and I think it's still like that in chapter 4. People that are supposed to represent the Imagined Order is supposed to be the Oathbound, and on the other side for the Resistance is the Reality Warriors, which is from reality 659. And I think the Reality Warriors is supposed to represent the 7. The 7 mysteriously vanished in season 4 chapter 3. It seems that they have been completely eviscerated from existence. Same goes for Paradigm. Like, Paradigm did completely fine, but she seemed to have disappeared. Jonesy also disappeared for some reason. Man was chilling in a sofa during the downtime event, just teasing his shoes to us, but it seems like this is supposed to represent the older versions of the 7 and the Imagined Order before they got those 2 names. And I think this opens up for something much more interesting. Look at the Origin's past. He was once a part of the last reality, and if you take a look at one of the loading screens, you can see the Origin in his original Cube King outfit. Now, it wouldn't surprise me that at one point we'll be able to see early snapshots of all these characters way before they kind of blew up. And I think this is what the theme of chapter 4 is going to be. It's going to show all the early stages of many characters like the Origin, the Fire King, and a bunch of other characters that we know very little about. Another very interesting thing is the female statue from Brutal Bastions. If we can expect the Reality Warriors to be us and the Seven, then this must supposedly be the Seven's leader. During the end event of chapter 2, the Foundation talks about a mysterious woman who has said to take care of Jonesy and save him. So could this woman supposedly be the leader of the Seven? And in that case, who is this woman? I'm gonna shoot a wild shot right now. I think the woman is the sister's mother. But either way, it seems like there's something else happening on the island right now. There seems to be someone called the Rift Warden that works for the Oathbound. Geno has an inner circle of people that he works closely with. And these people in his inner circle are like the most trusted people. Geno even decided to have a bet with one of them, throwing the sisters into the 0 point, expecting a better version to come out in return, which made the sisters being outcast in the end of it. But this Rift Warden has started building a portal on top of one of the castles for the Oathbound. Could it be that the Rift Warden trying to get all the other Oathbound members in on the island in order to take control over the whole thing? I think there is a big war building up here, and we're might going to be able to see a lot of characters before they became who we know them as. It would really be appreciated if you could leave a like on the video. And with that being said, take care and have yourself a good one.